What is going on, everybody? My name is Northy, and today we've got ourselves the Round 10 Team Coach Review. Man, I feel good getting things done on time. I feel really good getting things done on time. Uploaded on a Monday when I intended to. It's so nice. But we have got ourselves the Round 10 Review with a few interesting results. Don't want to point out one in particular, but if I had one word to describe it... In all seriousness, we'll get to it when we come around, but alrighty, let's have a look at the rest of our games. Let's see how we did this week. You can see here, this is what the silver lineup was looking like. Now, Chad Warner managed to get ourselves 115 points from this one. However, only the fourth best. Somehow Chera, the week I finally take him out, pulls out a better week. Do not ask me how. Bailey Scott with a massive week though, 121 for the boy. And then Zach Butters even bigger. Couple of goals, 6 marks, 3 tackles, and 41 disposals for a man who now people are considering a Brownlow medalist contender. That would be kind of interesting, seeing Zach Butters take it. 2 years removed from Ollie Wines taking it would mean a lot for Port Adelaide. Would mean that we probably have to see some results from them very, very soon. But we go to sharpshooters. This was very disappointing. Fantasy 52 points for Charlie Cameron in a game against Gold Coast that he probably should have gotten more. Out of all the players who played, he got some of the least amount of points. You can see here, the big guys ended up getting most of the points this time around. Mitch Lewis, Charlie Curnow, Lance Franklin, Norton with 75, Fritsch with 74. The best small player I see here is Michael Walters with 58. Bit rough. Very, very rough for sure. Mitch Lewis, though, the surprise winner. He had 6 goals, 8 marks, 24 disposals, getting all in there for a 126-point performance. Nick Dacos ended up being one of the bigger disappointments this week. Oh man, just crazy to think all these massive 100-point performances, and Dacos wasn't one of them. No marks, no 1%ers, just a crazy, low percentage game for the boy. Really, really interesting. That's going to hurt him a lot when it comes to the Brownlow medal count that he's now got himself firmly grasped in. You can see here though, McCluggage, Sarong, and Rosie all with over 120. Luke Parker, 113. I do have a double points card for him, and I did not use him, so a bit stressful there. We go over to Supreme. This is where we get to some really interesting results. 158 for Zach Merritt. That is very, very surprising. Essendon, though, taking that 1-point win against Richmond at the Dreamtime game. A massive win for Essendon there. Andy Brayshaw with 135. Laird with 131. Sicily 125. Steele 121. These guys at Supreme smashing it this week. The lowest 100 I see is Clayton Oliver, the one that we had, at 108. So we've managed to pick out both some good games, but not the best games. There's a lot of really, really good choices this week for cards, and we've managed to pick out a lot of poor ones. Sam Doherty, though, we picked the best one for this one, the epic players. 124 points, Sam Doherty being the best player. Really, really helpful there. Carlton, although not having the greatest season so far, it's good to see at least we're getting individual scores for them. Although you can see here, 265, that is very, very poor for what we were hoping. 478 in total. You can see a couple of 100-point games, but Cameron letting us down, Dacos letting us down, Oliver not really letting us down, but we could have had better picks. Man, we can't seem to get it at the right time, can we? We just can't. Gonna probably switch up Cameron, although watch me switch it up and then have it go horribly wrong for me. But we're gonna go over to Ultra. Look at this team. Not much difference in terms of the player I picked. You can see here, Chad Warner, 115. Tom Green, he was 4 points less, but double points, you gotta take it. That's why we brought him in. Sam Doherty, nice that we got his 124. Steel Sidebottom may have been a better pick. We'll find out in a sec. Cameron, though, definitely not the best pick out of this one. Although it looks like not too many good picks nonetheless anyways. We go over to Mighty Mids. The Mighty Midfielders, we had Noah Anderson, 79 points, tied with Dacos, as disappointing as that is. And we had Luke Parker on the board and we didn't pick him up. Of course we didn't. Oh well, next one. We got Jaden Short here, 99 points, so 1 under 100. Thankfully, we do have him as double points. He was our next best double points pick other than Luke Parker. So we do manage to pick up 200 for him. Get about 160, little under for Noah Anderson. This is definitely the most disappointing pick out of them all. Tom Green, really, really good pickup. And Sam Doherty, really, really good choice. So we go over the ladder. 131, we couldn't get into the double digits for star powers on either end this week, which is really, really disappointing. It's good to see some names that I know of. I think J-Clan I saw. Yeah, there's J-Clan in there. He's still doing well for the season. Looking at a few others in the weekly one. I don't see any weekly winners that I know of, but that's all good. Star Powers, overall though, a bit of a disappointing week for Star Powers for sure. That was Not what we really wanted to see. But we go over to top team, and top team is very interesting this week, and we will go over exactly why that is in a second. First off, smashed it with the Team English pick. Again, Team English is remaining one of the most consistent ruckmen in the game, so I have no problems at all just keeping him consistently as my ruckman in this game mode. Next up though, you gotta always hit big. So anyone who picked Butters, Merritt, Brayshaw, Lairds, Sheed, like those guys would have been living. Very, very happy with their picks. Clayton Oliver, although I had 108, very disappointing. Nick Dacos ended up being one of the more surprising ones. Sinclair finding his form. Look at that, 141. Would have been nice to have him in this week. And then Errol Goulden, a very good pickup at 106 points. Mitch Lewis ended up being the best, as I mentioned before. But 4th place isn't a terrible place to have your pick. The problem is these two, Dacos and Oliver, will probably be the ones that let us down. Top 4, 132. We did manage to crack 400, but nowhere near the 465 needed. All we have to do is switch out Dacos with Sinclair, which is a very tough choice to make, to be fair. But if we made that switch up, we would have found ourselves in the top 10. So not the best week to be picking up Dacos, that's for sure. But we go over to top 18, and this was a little disappointing, and I'll tell you why in a sec. I'll show you why. Forward line. Ups and downs. We had Kerno in there, and he managed to get himself a really good game, 101. Zeeble, per usual, finding himself close to 100. Not quite, but close to it. And then Errol Goulden, of course, we found that one out and made that switch. But then we look at the rest of the forward line. Cameron with only 64 and no goals. Charlie Cameron with 2 goals, but barely any impact on the game. And then Maxi Gawn, only the 12 disposals, no marks or goals. That's quite crazy from Maxi Gawn there, but only 66 points. He's having a pretty below average season. Obviously, injuries may play a part to that, but a bit disappointing. Would have been nice to have DeGoey maybe in there. I don't know. I'm not sure many changes. Shea Bolton, I usually like to pick in every now and then, but he's a bit on and off sometimes. If he can get himself in the midfield, then usually he can find himself some possessions, but it's yes and no sometimes with that boy. Next up, though, we go to the midfield. Now, midfield, you can see here, already looking a bit sketch. Rory Laird is the only one on the first, few players that we actually had. We go down a bit. Green with 111, which isn't terrible. Oliver with 108, again, not terrible. Walsh only 90. Anderson 79. It's really, really tough to win weeks when you're getting people in the low 80s. And then, of course, the ones who have Merritt, Butters, Brayshaw, Dunkley would be that was a popular pick. Those players, if you had them, you're pretty happy with how the week went. And unfortunately, that's just not how my week went. We got to just move on, though. We go to the backline, and backline was surprisingly quite good. Again, I mentioned Sinclair. We actually had him in the top 18. Sicily, even though it was an absolutely dominant performance from Hawthorn, putting up 120-something point win. I think it was a little under 120. Sicily still played a massive impact. 11 marks, 8 1%ers, 30 disposals. The dude is just a anchor for them. He's the one they kind of go through. Kind of plays a more important Jack Zeeble role, I feel like. Doherty, I mentioned before, he had a really good game at 124. And then you can see here, although we didn't have too many great games or players here, we had Jordan Dawson 85, 86 Will Day, and Dacos ended up being the surprising low one for this week. But you see here, a lot of other players below that, so it could have been worse. We've had ourselves an alright week for the back line. The weird part about this week, and I need to show you this, nothing. I thought I'd saved my team. Apparently I didn't, so I didn't get a score. Although I don't think my team was going to get 1,800 points. I'm disappointed that we at least didn't get a score. I really thought I double checked before the round started and everything. I thought I'd press save weekly selection on all of them. For some reason didn't show up on this one, which is disappointing. It's okay though, I'm not too stressed. I don't think we would have won this week, unfortunately, but it's all good. We keep moving. I think the midfield would have let us down the most. We go to the tips. We did the tips this week, so I will show you how we did this most recent week. Oh man, it's an interesting one, that's for sure. So, Melbourne versus Port. Nearly got that one. 76-80, Port winning a thriller. Oh man. This game was very, very tough to watch, I won't lie. I needed a lot of drinks after that one, but we got the tip right at least. We go on to the next one. Doggies ended up beating Adelaide quite convincingly, which I found surprising, but nonetheless, very, very nice to see. Freo beating Geelong. Man, these two have been the most inconsistent teams this year. Freo and Geelong have had times where they both look dominant and horrific. I don't know what to do with these guys, but Brisbane ended up taking care of Gold Coast quite convincingly. Essendon in a 1-point thriller. We managed to tip that one correct. Crazy to think that one. Hawthorn, I said this in the preview. It was a battle of the bottom two at the time. I really thought it wasn't going to be this. But here we are, 142 to 26. Hawthorn take that very, very easily. Collingwood take care of Carlton, a disappointing Carlton side so far this year. And St Kilda managed to beat GWS by 12 points, keeping their season alive. Look a little bit like pretenders, I won't lie. I feel like St Kilda, they have potential to do really well this year. They're going to make finals. I'm pretty confident they'll make finals. But they do look a little bit like pretenders, like they're not sure what they're doing there. So we'll have to see how that goes. But St Kilda only a 12-point win against GWS. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens with that group. Unless 7 out of 9 for the week. That's actually alright for my usual. I'm pretty bad at tipping, so 7 out of 9 is good for me. But nonetheless, if you guys did enjoy this video, if you guys want a prize card this week and I missed you, be sure to let me know in the comments. Let me know how your teams went as well, just in general. Even if you didn't win a prize card, let me know how you guys went. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Thank you all so much for the support, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.